everybody, welcome back to Belle's Books. I'm Carly and today I am very Christmassy and I'm going to talk to you about all of my Christmas books. I've got my Christmas mug with my little robin in, my Santa hat. This jumper actually has lights in it, but I think I wore it out so much last year it doesn't work now, so I need to replace the battery. And I have my tiny little Christmas tree over there, which is totally the fault of Jen Campbell because when she put up her mini Christmas tree from Bloom and Wild, I loved it so much, I got one. So, let's talk about some books. I know this one's been everywhere, but rightfully so because it's amazing. And I've talked about it before, so I'm not going to dwell too long on it, other than to say it is The Christmas Chronicles by Nigel Slater. I'm loving it very much. I'm reading it like an advent calendar because there's pages for every day. So I read that day's page. And it's just lovely. It's a mixture of wintry recipes and folklore about Christmas, personal experience from the lovely Nige, and it's just a Christmas delight. So this is my only non-fiction of the pile here. Then I have two books by Kate Moss, neither of which I have read. So most of these I haven't read. I would like to hear from you, please, in the comments. Now, you know how I said, oh, in December, I'm just going to finish off all the books that I have started and haven't finished. I'm going to try and do that, but I do like to read seasonally, and I do want to read some Christmas things this December. So, first up, we've got The Mistletoe Bride and Other Haunting Tales by Kate Moss. Now, actually, I might just dip in and out of this because it's short stories, and I have read The Mistletoe Bride, the title story in here, because I bloody love retellings of The Mistletoe Bride. It's one of my favourite stories, and also on the back of that I would highly recommend Carol Ann Duffy's oh god, I've totally forgotten what it's called, but it was a collection of poems around Christmas that I don't even think I've got the actual poetry collection. I have an album made of them though, because one year at the Cambridge Literary Festival there was a band called Little Machine, and they took her seasonal poems about Christmas and they turned them into songs, and they're amazing. Our favourite is The Lord of Misrule, which is just fantastic and hilarious. It's just like this bunch of dudes, these old dudes, like kind of like a dad band, but I just love it. I play that album on repeat in December. It's fantastic. I'll try and link it in the description box below if I can find it. Anyway, this, I think I want to dip in and out of this and just read a few of these stories. So I don't know whether they're all set at Christmas. The Mistletoe Bride, obviously, and there's one called The Ghost of Christmas Past, but these are just like ghostly tales which are excellent to be read around a fire at Christmas time. So I'm going to pick this up at some point. Won't read the whole thing, but you know, nice for little stories here and there. Then I have The Winter Ghosts, which is historical fiction, so it's set in 1928, about this guy Freddie, and he's grieving for his brother in the war, and he's driving through the Pyrenees, so he hits a snowstorm. So any books like set in any kind of snowy scenes, I'm here for this time of year. And he meets this woman whose name is Fabrica, and he has a liaison with her, and then in the morning she has disappeared, and it's like a mystery, like what's happened to her, where's she gone. And I think it's one of those things, like, I've not read any Kate Moss, but I know she does a lot of very intricate historical fiction where people go back and forth in time, and I get the feeling that's the same kind of deal with this one. And I watched like a televised, I don't know whether it's a series of, I think it was Labyrinth, that was on TV a while ago, and I absolutely adored it. So I'm hoping this is the same kind of thing. It just sounds wonderful. Then we have another popular favourite on BookTube, The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I still haven't read this. I've mentioned this on so many TBRs. It's my bag. It's my kind of thing. It's set in Russia. It's about folklore. It focuses on the character, what's her name, of Vasya. Don't know if I'm saying that right. And she can see spirits, and she knows the old ways, which are apparently outlawed in where she lives. So it's all about magic and folklore and fairies. I'm here for that. Yes, please. Also, my mate Holly, who I am buddy reading The Starless Sea with, that we've taken all year to read it. She wants to read this as well, so we might do another epic buddy read on this, if I can convince her to buddy read with me again. Okay, then I have A Snowfall of Silver by Laura Wood. Now, so this is a shiny cover, you can't see it well, but it's a YA historic romance, I think. So it's set in 1931, and we follow 18-year-old Freya, who runs away from her home in Cornwall to become an actress, and she gets in with a travelling theatre troupe and finds love, and it sounds delightful. This was recommended to me by my lovely friend Alex Shepherd, who I'm in a writing group with. Alex is the author of Oh My Gods, and she has a new book coming out early next year, which she is writing right now, and I'm very excited about that. Anyway, she recommended this to me because it's all kinds of cozy goodness. It just sounds perfect for this time of year. Again, more snow. I'm here for that. Okay, then we have The Snow Child. More snow, by, I haven't looked up this author and I don't know how to say it. Owen Ivy? Probably not right. Should have done my research there. Apologies. This is another historical fiction. Historical fiction this time of year is what I want to read. So this is Alaska in the 1920s, and it is about a couple who have moved to like a remote farm, and one day a young girl, I think it's a young girl, appears out of nowhere, and it's them dealing with this appearance of this young girl, and they're kind of grieving for a baby that they lost. So I get the feeling it's kind of magical as well. So this has been on my TBR for ages. Then we have, I picked this up last year in my local Waterstones, a Christmas Pudding, a novel by Nancy Mitford. I just love this book. I love this cover. This lovely gold foiling. The end papers have got holly in, and this just sounds a bit like a riot. I mean, I know nothing about it other than the blurb, which says it's the formidable Lady Bobbin is putting on a house party, and it just sounds like it's all of the characters at this house party doing naughty shenanigans, which it just sounds super fun. And it's only a little book, and it's 200 pages. So this is the kind of book that I could probably read around Christmas time. I've got 2 weeks off at Christmas, so I would very much like to read this just because it sounds fun and light-hearted, and that's what we need right now. Okay, then I have a strange book. I don't know how I came by this. I think it was either left in my basket when I did the little free library outside my house, or someone gave it to me. It's the Oxford Book of Christmas Stories. So these are children's stories, but they're a bit bonkers. So I'll tell you what I don't like. I mean, this is a nice looking book, but I don't like when they put text on the cover. Why would you do that? It's so weird. And this is like on the end, like the end papers, where the end papers should be, are actual Bible excerpts, which is strange. So these are just weird stories. So I've read, but they have nice like illustrations at the start of each one. So I've read this one called Grandfather Frost by James Rawdon. It's just mental. It's about it's kind of like, they're kind of like fairy tales, I think. So this story, Grandfather Frost, is about a wicked stepmother who sends her stepdaughter off to die in the forest, and her dad takes her there and be like, all right, sorry, gotta leave you here. And then the stepmother assumes that she's going to die in the cold, but Grandfather Frost rocks up and looks after her. So they're kind of fun, but just really weird. We've got one from Charles Dickens in here, like all different authors, so it's an anthology. Shirley Jackson, Laurie Lee, Jacqueline Wilson, so we've got some more, and Sue Townsend, contemporary authors as well. So it's just a nice little collection of very old stories. So I might dip in and out of that as well. It's good for, I think, because they're quite short, reading around the fire to your family. Then we've got a book that I have read. I read this last year. It is the 12 Christmas Days by Jeanette Winterson, and it's 12 short stories and 12 recipes, and after each story Jeanette Winterson gives like a little glimpse into her life and her Christmas rituals and celebrations, a bit like the Nigel Slater. And I loved this when I read it last year, and I read it on the 12 days of Christmas. So I started on Christmas Day and I read one each of the 12 days, and I love that as a ritual because people don't seem to celebrate the 12 days of Christmas anymore. It's just like, you know, when people whip down their decorations on Boxing Day, what is up with that? For me, Christmas is 12 days, and that's how it should be, and that's how I'm going to celebrate it. So reading one of these every day for the 12 days of Christmas is just a delightful, and I loved all of these stories. I think one of my favourites was about a snow woman or a snow mama that comes to life. That was delightful, and some of them a little bit scary. There was like a ghostly tale in here. And I just love it, so I might do that again this year, actually read because I'm reading the Nigel Slater, and that goes right through to Twelfth Night as well, so I might pick this up and read it alongside. Now I've saved the best till last, guys. This is I was going to talk about another Dickens. This is my beautiful copy of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. This is a replica of the original book, so the cover, this beautiful red and gold, has the original design of what the book looked like. You can see there, and this was a birthday present that my group of friends got me. It's extra, so thick, really thick end papers, and it has all the copies of the original illustrations in, and they have like the tracing paper over them. Look. Oh, it's just a delight. I love this book so much. Look, there you go. And the print is nice and big, so you can read it by candlelight. Obviously, I've read this many a time. It's one of my favourite Christmas stories, and I love reading it out to people as well. So if I can convince Dan, he'll probably fall asleep. Every time I read to him, he falls asleep. But I just love reading out Christmas stories. So I will be looking at this again this Christmas, just because it's so delightful and it's such a beautiful copy. Let me show you some more. Oh, my favourite ghost. The Ghost of Christmas Present. You see him? Also because I do think of it about the Muppets one as well. So when I think of this ghost, I think of "Come in and know me better, man." Actually, I'm just going to go grab another one because there's one more I wanted to talk to you about. And it's another Dickens. It's A Christmas Carol and Other Stories. So it's his Christmas books. But the one that I want to read from this is called The Haunted Man. The Haunted Man and the Ghost's Bargain. And the reason I want to read this is because it is the story that Ali Smith riffs off in her book. Is it Summer? I think it's Summer, because they start with the same lines. Yes, it is Summer. So The Haunted Man starts with "Everybody said so," and Ali Smith's Summer has a little quote from The Haunted Man at the front. I've written all over my copy because I'm using it for my PhD. "Lord, keep my memory green," which is The Haunted Man, and it starts, "Everybody said so." So as part of my research, I am reading the stories that link into Ali Smith's books. So I'm going to read The Haunted Man. And I mean, I've not read any of these other ones. So we've got The Story of the Goblins Who Stole a Sexton. I mean, that just sounds hilarious. A Christmas episode from Master Humphrey's Clock, which I guess is a longer piece. Christmas Tree, What Christmas Is As We Grow Older, and The Seven Poor Travellers. I do love Dickens at Christmas. Dickens is the epitome of Christmas for me, and I always love to watch Bleak House at Christmas as well. We're going to get that down from the loft and put that on, possibly tonight, while we put up our Christmas tree. Which, you know, my favourite thing about Dickens is when characters spontaneously combust. I just love it. I'm just fascinated by spontaneous combustion. And when Johnny Vegas spontaneously combusts, you know, it's just hilarious. I bloody love it. So, anyway, those are my Christmas books. I have a few that I have not read. talk to me in the comments below. Have you read any of these? Which ones would you recommend? Which are the most Christmassy? Talk to me, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye.